What's up, guys? It's Shator from the Iron Skillet, and this week we're bringing you an exclusive interview with Seth Baker. Seth is an unbelievably talented makeup artist from the Winchester area. He works at Salon Collective. He's highly skilled, and he's done makeup looks for numerous weddings, prom and homecoming dances, and local events. But he's mostly known for his unique horror film-inspired looks on Instagram. On this episode of the podcast, he talks to us about how a Halloween costume contest essentially led to him taking a trip to Ulta and trying out his first ever makeup look, his experience visiting LA and getting immersed in the world of makeup and body art, and he gives some advice for creatives that are sharing art and collaborating on social media. I can't wait for you guys to check out this episode with Seth. Let's get it. What's up? It's Shator from the Iron Skillet, and we're back with another podcast. I got T Clem TV here running the boards. We got my man Bull Whip over here.
Whoop.
And then our guest of honor tonight, Seth Baker. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling good?
Nervous as hell, but we're good.
Hey, we're going to kill it tonight. It's going to be amazing. Seth is an awesome makeup artist from the Winchester area, and we're going to talk to him tonight about how he got into that and just how he became as awesome as he is, because let's be real, you're pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So let's kind of take it back a little bit to growing up. I know you have a sister. Mm-hmm. Is that your only sibling?
Yes.
Okay.
She's 16 months younger than me.
Ooh, okay. So are you guys close?
Very close.
Super tight?
Yeah, she is my best friend.
That's awesome. What do your parents do?
My parents, well, my dad is a police officer, or retired, and my mom works for American Woodmark.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what she does there. She says it all the time, but
You're like,
it's in one ear and out the other, and I really don't know.
I feel it.
But yeah, and then my sister is in college.
That's awesome. So what's like middle school, high school like? Like, what are you into at that point in time? Like, what kind of music are you into? What kind of stuff are you into at that point?
I wanted to jokingly say boys, but
there you go.
No, I was very much into scene music.
Yeah.
The disgusting stuff, like Blood on the Dance Floor, everything who is now like irrelevant and gross.
Back then, it was lit.
No, not even then.
Lit?
No, I was still that person that was just literally like, oh my God, who are you?
I feel it.
I don't know, like, I loved art. That was the only thing that I was good at.
Okay.
In high school, and middle school, that was the only thing that I could get above a B+. In history, kill me. English, could barely talk. It was a whole thing.
Art class was awesome, though.
Yeah, that was the only class I never skipped.
Yeah.
Art
I
class.
skipped every class.
I was a goody two shoes. I never skipped.
I got A's in art and A's in lunch.
Yeah. See, there you go. Give me a pizza stick and we're good.
That's awesome. So you were always into like drawing and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I can tell from your your expertise.
Now it makes sense.
Exactly. But so what's it looking like at the end of high school? Because like if art's the only thing you're interested in, are you already doing makeup stuff at that point in time?
So senior year of high school was when I first played with any form of makeup.
Okay.
It was Halloween, and I think like the principal or whoever said that it would be the principal, said that they would allow us to paint our face that year. Because, in school, I'm like, you can't hide what your face looks like. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
So they let us do that, and I told my dad, I was like, I need to go to a Mac store right now. Because I watch YouTube videos all the time, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do for Halloween. And my dad was like, okay, I guess I'll take you.
Yeah.
That man did not step 1 foot in that store. I had to walk in by myself, 18 years old, 18? Yeah. And just be like, hi, I just need a black eyeshadow. That's literally all
all I need.
I don't know what else I need, but I need that.
Yeah.
And I come out, and my dad's like, $18 for an eyeshadow? I was like, judge me. I still have the pot.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
From like 5 or 6 years ago.
So how did that first one go?
It went really well. Like, people really loved it. There was like a little contest going on in the library for people's stuff. I didn't win.
Yeah.
But it was cool that people were complimenting me. I was actually noticed in high school at that point. Then it was like, people like this. People are talking to me. Not that I enjoyed that part, but yeah, it was really nice.
That's awesome. So is that one of the first times you felt like on a big scale in high school you were like accepted? Like everybody was like really into something you were doing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like accepted, I guess. It was more just kind of like, oh, cool. People aren't scared of me. People are talking to me and everything like that. That was pretty cool because I was very much an outcast.
I got you.
In high school. I was artsy, like a lot of artsy people are. You're kind of a weirdo. But
that's awesome. So that first Halloween do you continue to do it? Like, was that first time addicting?
yes, it was. So I realized that I could very easily and affordably do multiple looks with just a black eyeliner and a black eyeshadow.
Yeah.
So I was just doing looks with that for like months.
Yeah.
And then I realized like body paints existed and all of that. And then I slowly started purchasing those and building my kit.
Ooh.
And that was a lot of fun because I got to spend a lot of money.
I see.
But it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I would like to see the first, like, if you had a picture of one of the first times you did it, and then now, because it's like movie level, like.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
I do. I still have that. I still have the photo. It's on my Instagram back at like the very bottom
I feel it.
when my Instagram is not professional
Nice.
at all.
So people could see the come up. Yeah, and the
Exactly.
progression, you know?
Exactly.
I like it when people do that. I feel like it's cool because everybody starts somewhere. I hate when like people just delete all of their beginning stuff and only have like.
Throwing shade at me?
No, not throwing shade at you, Travis.
It's called cleaning up your content.
I feel
Yes.
it, but I like
well, I
that.
I think it all depends on the artist and how you want to display yourself.
For sure.
Whether you want to display yourself as like a growing makeup artist or use it strictly as a portfolio
Professional. Yeah.
of
you
like
go.
the stuff that you are proud of.
So did you ever run into any issue? Because doing makeup isn't like it's not like the most popular thing, especially in a town like this. Did you ever run into any people that made it like threw shade at you or made it hard for you to be into it?
So my family was very concerned.
Yeah.
I grew up very religious and everything like that. So a boy in makeup who it's not exactly ideal.
I feel it.
But like they had questions as if I knew I was different. So there was no like, here's a guide as to how to handle your gay child who you don't know is gay yet. And not that you have to be gay to be in makeup, but on a tangent. But it's one of those things. What was I saying?
No, you're just saying
What was I saying?
you're getting into it. It's okay. So it was definitely something that you guys had to work and build through.
Yes. Okay. Now I know where I'm at. My
But
parents.
I feel like it's cool that your dad took you. I mean, not
Oh.
everybody's dad would do that. Your dad's like, all right, well, let's get in the car. Let's go to the store.
See, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
In the moment, they were constantly asking me, they're like, do you want to be a woman? Like, they were just asking a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and not that that's anything like bad to them, but it was just like,
Trying to figure it out.
yes.
100%.
And I was like, no, I just really, really love it.
That's awesome.
Just really love it.
Yeah.
And it would constantly be a battle. Like when I would do a makeup look or something that I was really proud of, obviously they'd see it. I'm just doing it in my basement
Yeah.
at my parents' house. So they would see it and they would be a little concerned. They'd be supportive and be like, oh, that's really, really cool. They wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
they were always so supportive.
That's awesome, man.
Sometimes parents just don't understand.
Well, yeah, there's no handbook how to raise
are new
each child.
concepts.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Will
And I
Smith
feel-
did a song.
Right. And I feel like everybody, I mean, a lot of people can have that with everything that they're into. Like, especially like some people want their kids to work or play sports. And if you want to play an instrument or do something different, then that could be a struggle. So it's cool that you kind of found your way to work through that. So when you finished high school, I know that you went to, was it Paul Mitchell?
Well, no, I went to a Paul Mitchell partner school.
Okay. Was that your first thing? Like when you graduated high school, you were like, I'm going straight here? Or did you have to figure that out?
So that was one of those things where I didn't have anything else that I needed to do that I could do. Because like I said, in high school, I was garbage at literally everything. So I went into Lord Fairfax
Okay.
thinking I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my general studies. That gives me a little cushion. I can figure out what the hell I want to do. I had a panic attack 3 days later in math class, and I was like, okay, I can't do this. Nope. This was general studies.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, okay, you really suck at math. This is not good. I panicked, and I told my parents, I was like, I just want a year off to like do my makeup and see if I can get it going anywhere. And if not, no big loss. I will figure out something to do then.
Yeah.
I'll bite the bullet and do
Whatever.
general studies again or something. I got my money back
Yeah.
because I had a panic attack 3 days in. But yeah.
So you took that year and you were just kind of like continuing to perfect your craft.
I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I had so many friends who were making videos and everything like that. And videos at that time were becoming much more popular on Instagram.
Yeah.
Visually seeing how they created the whole process. I was so horrible at that.
Yeah, the video part.
Editing videos took me like a week because I was using iMovie.
On your
it was-
phone?
yeah.
Okay.
Not even on my phone. It was on my computer, but it was...
I think it's
had-
harder to use on the computer.
I had absolutely zero idea how to use it in the first place. So I was Googling
Everything.
everything. And then I would do something, move on to the next thing like voiceover or something, and then forget how to do the previous thing that I learned.
Yeah.
So it was constantly like Googling back and forth as to how to do it. And it would take like a week to make like a 15-minute video. And I was like, oh my God.
This is hard. So that's cool. Like that whole year you're working on trying to figure out how to show people what you're doing.
Yeah.
So how does that lead to you ending up in school?
Well, I got to the end of the year. I'd like to say that I busted my ass in that time to like really get my makeup growing, but there were times where I'd like, you get depressed.
And you
take a
stop
week off
working,
and you're
yeah.
just like, I need a break. And then that break becomes like 2 weeks. And then you're like, oh my God, the 365 days are up.
Yeah.
And in that time, I was like, okay, well, this clearly didn't work.
Yeah.
Not a huge loss. So I was like, cosmetology, that involves makeup. Maybe hair's a fun thing because my grandfather's a barber.
Okay,
So I
cool.
was like, okay, maybe that could be fun. So I went to the Paul Mitchell affiliated school,
Gotcha.
who shall not be named. And I started there, and that's how I met my current work family and Haley and everyone.
Yeah. How much did that impact your life? So that's where you met everybody, that Haley and all that? Mm-hmm. So that,
Well, it's funny. I met Haley a long time ago, but yeah, that's where I met everyone, my family.
yeah. So that's crazy because, like, what if you didn't do that? All the people
don't-
that are in your life right now.
I really don't know where I'd be.
Exactly.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I can't imagine life without them.
Yeah.
They get on my nerves, as family always does.
Yeah.
But going through life without them, and God knows what I would have done
Yeah.
if I didn't find cosmetology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably just a group of people that were like, I see what you're trying to do. I understand it. Like, go for it. And
Yeah.
encouraging you. Because I feel like, I don't know that everybody always has that. And when you find it, it's like so refreshing when you're doing something that's different. So I feel like that might have been,
It was really cool to see people who didn't question it.
yeah.
Excuse me. Because I had my online presence, which I would get constant love and support and everything from that. But like having it in like a direct thing, yeah, I had my
Physical
family.
form.
Yes. So like coming into work every single day after doing a look or something like that and having like 10 people just come up to you and say, that was cool as shit.
Yeah.
Can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And that was a really fun
Yeah.
booster kind of thing.
It's probably like a huge like change too, to be able to be like, wow, like I put this out and now people are really seeing it and they're actually telling me that it's good
I had that like validation from multiple people, not just across the
online.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that was cool too.
So how did, and you don't have to get too deep into it, but like how did building, I mean, you built a very strong foundation on your
Thank you.
Instagram. And I mean, and it shows because your work is freaking flawless. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I was gonna say you're like asking him how. I'm like, look at his work.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like it's amazing. But like, how long did it take you to build that, and like, what was that process like? Was it kind of effortless? Like you just threw it up there and people started to follow you, or was it like you're putting a lot of time into building your page?
I think Instagram is so much more different than it was
When it
3
started.
or 4 years ago. Artists would actually collaborate with other artists rather than you're not shit if you're not collaborating with a makeup company.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotcha.
back then, like you could collaborate with the
Anybody.
top dogs, like, and now they don't even give you the time of day. I mean, they
Yeah.
do. But they're making money.
It's a like
so-
higher threshold now.
It's more of a dog eat dog world now.
Yes.
Was
absolutely.
there any collaborations that you did in that time? that got you like super excited?
Yes. Manny MUA,
Ooh.
who I don't know if you all know him, but he is a very, very big beauty guru. I think like, I don't even know how many followers now, but I knew him when he was like 10,000 followers, little tiny baby. I know
Yeah.
that 10,000 followers doesn't seem like a little baby, but when you have over 1 million plus
Now.
followers, 2 million followers on Instagram,
Yeah.
that's baby.
Got
So-
you. Yeah.
I got to collaborate with him a long, long time ago with a couple of other artists, and that was really fun. Meeting Jefferey Star and him recognizing who I was,
Talk about that.
Wow.
that was fun.
How did that happen?
Even I've heard of Jefferey Star.
Yeah, I see
know.
exactly. But he was doing beauty tours. He was actually teaching makeup classes, and I went to one in Philadelphia with one of my friends. And at that time, he had just started Jeffree Star Cosmetics. He had just released like the first couple of his lipsticks and everything like that. And I used it on one of my makeup looks, and they reposted it to their Jeffree Star Cosmetics page.
Did you have a heart attack?
I about shit myself.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And when I walked up to Jeffree Star, because at the end of the class you meet him, and he was like, "You look familiar," and I was like, "I mean, you reposted," and I thought he had someone else
Do that.
running his Instagram
Yeah.
for him. I mean, you're rich enough, why not?
Yeah.
But he's like, no, you did the Pride look. And I was like, like, excuse me, do you have a mop bucket that I can puke into,
Yeah.
please? It was unreal.
Yeah.
And that was a really fun experience.
Yeah.
Lipstick Nick, who is one of Jeffree Star's current makeup artists, when I was in LA, which is another reason why I love my parents, because they got me tickets to LA
Oh yeah.
for a week. Lipstick Nick complimented my makeup that I was wearing from across the
Like-
panel. Like, she was at Morphe selling stuff, and she was like, "That's badass." And I was like, "I could kiss you."
yeah.
Oh my gosh. But
That's
yeah.
awesome. So your parents bought you, like, made it possible for you to go to LA. That's
Yeah, so that was my graduation present from high school.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is
So-
super. Shout out to your parents for that.
Truly.
My
They're the
parents
best.
have been like with you from day one. So it was,
Yes.
it was awesome.
They're so cute. On Christmas a couple years back, when I hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, they actually got like a little like diamond trophy made from like the trophy store. And it was so adorable. And it said Zombie Mannequin
10K.
reaching 10,000 followers. And I was like, you
Wow.
all are so damn cute.
That's awesome.
So cute.
That's amazing. So LA sounds like that was like, did you go there and immediately be like, I wish I could stay here? Like, I don't want to come home?
I did.
Yeah.
Because that was a very big moment. I met so many of my friends that I made online, and I never thought I would meet. But when I found out I was going to LA, I contacted a bunch of them, and I was like, "What hotel are you staying at? Where do you live? What are we doing?"
Yeah.
We're hanging out the
Yeah.
entire time,
No,
and that
that's
was a lot of fun.
So you made use of your time. That's important too. I feel like sometimes people, I mean, like we try to have a plan, but when you go to a big city and you do something creative, I feel like hitting people up ahead of time and making sure that you can like try to network and make connections like is super super crucial.
Yeah.
Because you could end up being in LA for a week and like not really doing a whole lot. But it sounds like you went there and
I mean, half of it was for leisure, but the other half it was just like I didn't even really at the time I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like if we made content together or not, I just wanted to be with other artists that did
what
my
you
thing.
did.
Because in Winchester there were like 3 of us,
I feel you.
and if even that.
Yeah.
So being around like 5 people just sitting in your hotel room just doing makeup with other people was probably one of the best moments of my life.
That's insane. That's awesome.
It's inspiring, huh?
It is. It is. Just being around like-minded people. And I mean, artists in general, like being around you guys, I'm much more comfortable
Of course.
here than I would be like in a group of just random people.
Yeah, because you like people understand like art is art. So, quick question. We don't have to go into too much detail, but I am definitely a little bit intrigued. When you go to school for, is it like, I don't know if it's cosmetology or beauty, is it like a lot of hands-on stuff, or are you actually like taking written tests too? And is that like, is it a stressful thing to go to school for that?
Yeah, it is stressful because like me, I knew nothing about cosmetology. I just went in and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this because I have no other option.
Yeah.
You get in there and you realize that you have to know anatomy, like nerves, bones. You have to know it all because you're touching a physical person. You have to know coming in contact with what? Sanitation, everything like that. But there's a written section and then there's a hands-on section. You have to have certain hours for each one. I was terrified of the hands-on
Part of it.
because I didn't have a lot of experience and I have a huge fear of messing up and failure, and I still do. So like that was a big struggle for me, and it still is to this day, and I battle
Try
with
to
it
push
every
through
single
it.
time. I still get clients on my book, and I'm just kind of like, oh my God,
Yeah.
am I okay?
Yep. Like,
Am I
deep
gonna do
breaths.
this?
Deep breaths.
Yep. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up on their head. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
No, I feel like that sounds so much like what I did too. Like, we had to learn the book part of it, but you have a practical part of it. And like, when you're first out, like, practicing, and you're just like, oh God, like, now this is real. This isn't like a simulated thing. Like, it's.
I thought I had time.
Yeah, I thought I had more time.
Like, it's one thing doing makeup on yourself or your friends, but an actual client, and then hoping that they're happy with the makeup.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Because people are very specific about like their brows, their skin tone. Like
Right.
sometimes they like to be tanner than what they actually are, and you're just like, well, you don't have a neck that is that
Like,
color and your face that's
yeah.
color.
So what, they give you a little rundown, like, hey, I want this, and you're like, all right,
I'm pretty much at the mercy of whatever they want.
right.
Like
Yeah.
they're paying for it, I have to give it to them.
I feel you.
I can give my 2 cents of like how it wouldn't work, but if they still want me to do it in the long run,
Gotta make.
I gotta do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it like
'Cause
that.
I look at like makeup, and I could be wrong, because of course there is like somebody wearing makeup that you're like, man, they really messed that one up.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like makeup is kind of like music, and there's no like rights or wrongs. It's like, I don't
can
know.
do
It's
it.
an art.
Yeah, it's like art. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do it any way.
There's no wrong way to do art, in my opinion, especially makeup. If
Yeah.
it makes you confident, that's for you.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't need the opinion of someone else. If you have nothing but like unblended black eyeshadow on your lid, are you confident? Fuck yeah.
Then- then that's for
what
you.
matters. Yeah,
That's
I'm like, and I think people think too much of, and I'm guilty of this 100%. Makeup really comes to like an attractive standard. You're like, am I attractive to people?
Yeah.
And recently this year, I just became like, you know what? Fuck it. I shaved the tail of my brows. Like literally, I had just little
Little piece-
rectangles.
Yep.
And then I lightened them white, so it looked like I had no brows. Because I was just like, I sound so stupid, like ridiculous, cliche, but beauty standards are stupid.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
I don't think that you need to be told that you look good
Yeah.
by someone else. If you think you look good, rock that shit.
Yeah, and people can tell. Like, when you feel good about yourself, like, people can feel that too. One thing I'll say is, like, I mean, Seth has done my makeup multiple times, you know? Like, we've maybe taken a couple trips to DC, and I'm like, you know, Seth, you trying to help me out here? Throw some makeup on me? And it's crazy because, like, I mean, I'm not someone that wears makeup a lot. I've probably done it, like, 15 times in my life. But it's crazy to, like, look in the mirror and be like, whoa. Like, that's crazy. And I'm sure for you, it's a cool feeling to be able to see that change of somebody and them, like, looking at themselves and being like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Does that make you feel, like, proud that you're able to give that to somebody?
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
And this could get into a very long
It's all
thing.
right.
But
Yeah.
that's why I started doing makeup in the first place, because someone very close to me, family member, told me that my skin looked hideous because of my acne and everything like that. I had suffered with severe acne for like 10 years. And a family member told me that my skin looked hideous. My brain obviously indicating that I look hideous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that started me doing makeup in the first place. I was just like, okay, let's play with some foundation or something.
Let's try to spruce it up.
And I was wearing it for the wrong reasons. I'm thankful that experience happened, or else I wouldn't have makeup, and I'd probably be sitting in a cubicle right now doing
God knows what.
God knows what.
Yeah.
Well, sitting at home now.
Yeah.
But it's
A huge part of why you do what you do.
That was one thing I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you, like, cause like when I deliver a video to somebody, and only thing I don't even watch the video with them, I watch their reaction. It's like, is that what you do? Like when you're done with their makeup, you just watch them look at themselves in the mirror and like,
the only thing I ever want is for them to be beautiful.
right,
Like that's all I ever want, because that's all I ever wanted for myself.
right,
Yeah.
And I've had clients just cry, and I'm like,
you're messing your makeup up.
I know, I'm literally, I'm like, girlfriend, this is waterproof, but don't play it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the feeling that you get after doing it. I mean, some people, everyone reacts differently. Some people
Yeah.
are just like, oh, this does look gorgeous. And then other people are like, oh my God, it looks so
Emotional.
beautiful. I was like, well, we're going to have to redo this.
Yeah.
It's different responses for everyone,
That's
but yeah, all of them are satisfying.
I feel like going through, you just talked about how in the beginning you got into makeup because you wanted to change things about the way you looked. But then now, how old are you now?
24.
So now 24 years old, you just talked about how you also shaved half your eyebrows off and bleached them because you're like, I don't give a damn if someone else thinks this looks good or not. That's a lot of growth.
It is. But it's still a mental battle.
Yeah.
There would be days where I'd wake up and I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, why the hell did you do that?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then you have your grandmother who says, she's like, please fix this. Don't ruin holiday photos and everything like that. And I was like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes you still break.
Yeah.
And you look in the mirror and you're like, wow, I'm really not happy with how I look.
Please.
But I think the thing is you really have to tell yourself no, we're not doing that today.
Yeah.
We're really not.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's crazy that all that can come from makeup. You know what I mean? That's an awesome thing. I know I see. So it's cool because I see your page, and if you guys haven't seen it, we're gonna throw some stuff in the intro. But it looks like high level, horror film makeup, like The Walking Dead, but times 10, even
Yes.
better. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh.
It's it's insane. And I just so you said you're into scene music. Is that kind of that vibe what inspired you to get into that type of makeup? Or
This is where it gets a little deep. I think anger and art is created from different things, but mine was mainly fueled from pain and sadness, and that's kind of sucky to say, but at the same time not.
It's where the best art comes from, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, constantly in high school, I'd be told I was a monster, and your brain, my brain thankfully flipped that into a good way.
yeah.
But you think of these monsters that you think are just badass, and then when you create them on your face and someone says, you're like, that looked amazing, you're like, cool.
So I can be a monster. It's fine.
Monsters can be cool.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So it definitely is one of those things.
That's amazing.
But
I know. So there's this one picture, and the caption is what made me like this post. It's it's your torso, and you've done the whole anatomy, the liver and all the organs, and it looks so lifelike, right? And your caption says, this isn't perfect. I tried something new. It's not 100%, but I wanted to put it up here and show, about my growth and just show it's cool to try new stuff. So I just I think that's awesome. And I just wanted you to talk about that a little bit because a lot of people only post things that are perfect.
it was that specific one was one of those things I saw something very similar to it online, just someone lifting up and they had the skeleton anatomy, and I was like, ooh, organs, let's try that. I had no idea what I was doing, and many artists, you all experience it probably as well, you create something and you're like, this is 4.5 hours literally wasted.
Yeah.
Or 3 days or whatever. And at that time I had been 2 weeks of just trying to do makeup looks and failing and not being able to create a single thing, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm not wiping this off again.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So I just took pictures because the part that I did was the illusion of my skin being lifted.
I was
Yeah.
gonna
Not so
mention
much
that.
the organs itself.
Yeah.
Because those were all one color, and when I took the picture, I was like, oh my God, this looks like Play-Doh. But
No, it looked awesome.
thank you.
It looked really cool,
But
and I like that you did that.
The lifted part of the skin is what I liked, and I was like, you know what, that's valuable enough to post.
Oh, yeah.
And to just kind of show people that you can fuck up
And
a million times, that's okay.
Yeah.
Someone's going to like it.
Yeah.
And that actually, I don't even know how many likes that post got at this point because Instagram doesn't show anything.
Yeah.
But it got a lot of attention, which I was like, okay, stop being.
learning about this.
Yes.
No, it's all good. I thought that was awesome.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot of great looks in here. I feel like you could get cast as a sci-fi makeup artist.
That would be fun. My only drawback with all of that is I have never messed with prosthetics.
I was gonna ask you if you've ever done prosthetics.
Oh, is that
No.
is it different?
So prosthetics
Obviously,
are
it's
like
different.
in zombie movies are what make it look like their teeth are exposed and everything like that.
Right, so they got something on the top of their skin.
Yes.
So it's different. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's all like adhered to their face and everything.
You wanted to try it?
I want to, and I don't have anything to make prosthetics. My skin's too sensitive to put that kind of adhesive on. Like my skin would
Break out.
probably rip off.
Yeah.
Very fragile.
Yeah.
Can't
But
you get like a mannequin head and have some, like, I don't know.
I've wanted to do that.
Something like that?
And I probably should do that. It's just like now I just don't have the time. I work
Yeah.
2 jobs. I have my own apartment.
Right.
I'm just
For
like, I don't, anytime that have free time, I sleep.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So, but I taught myself beauty makeup. I taught myself face painting and everything. I'm completely self-taught in all of it. So I would like to teach myself
That
prosthetics.
aspect.
That's just an expensive hobby now.
Yeah. No, I feel it.
Hey, you'll get there.
Yes,
gonna
exactly.
That was one thing I was going to ask, like, to like go back to when you were starting all of this. Like, was it literally just you just trying stuff and or was there like any like YouTube tutorials, stuff like that too?
Yes. So the only way that I would teach myself was watching YouTube videos. There was a artist called Made You Look, and her name was Lex, and she would do all these body paints, and I would recreate them, tag her, she would comment on them. I would cry every time. But just doing that, like recreating people's looks, learning how they shaded, how they created that depth to make it look realistic, like it is a prosthetic, but it is just
Skin.
highlighting and contouring.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It was a lot of YouTube videos and teaching myself, and also trial and error.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, okay, now I want to do it without the YouTube video. Let me create something
my
and just see how it works. And you learn like the contours of your face and everything like that, and you're just
Off to the races.
yes, yeah.
No, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. So, I know I have some stuff that I want to ask wrapping up, but before I do that, is there any stuff that you guys have? Because I don't want to jump over it, questions that you guys have.
I have so many questions.
Go for it.
I just don't know where to start. It's like,
I got maybe 2 more.
Sure.
Yeah.
all right, you go ahead.
All right, so even further back, you were into art in school. Was there like a lane of art that you were into, or was it just like kind of everything? Because I know like when I was into art, I was just like basically a drawer. That's all I did was draw.
Drawing. I hated. It's funny. I hated painting on paper and canvas.
Same.
Absolutely hated it.
Yep, me too.
I couldn't figure out how people were like blending the colors or making watercolor not look like paint lines. Like
Yeah.
they were like, how are you getting this like smooth? And like painting on my face was a very good alternative. But yes, drawing was my main and only thing. Hated charcoal with every fiber of my being.
That's so funny.
And then what was my other question? All right, so like when you go to do like an original piece, do you only map it out in your head, or do you kind of sketch something and then look off of that, or maybe a mixture of both, or?
It's a little bit of depending on how what I have time for,
Right.
really. Lately I have not drawn any of it, but if I'm just watching TV and I think of something, I'll pull out my sketchbook and I'll just start drawing. And I'm like, okay, I'll execute this sometime next week or something like that.
Right.
So occasionally it will be drawn out. I've realized that it goes a lot better when I draw something out
Right.
because I have a much clearer idea and I'm not trying to randomly piece things together. Excuse me. But yes, I definitely draw it out from time to time. It also just all depends on what I have time for
Right.
and how inspired I am. Because sometimes it can play in my head and I have a clear vision and I'm like, I got this.
Yeah, I feel you.
Well, I can really tell that you were good at drawing because of some of these, like you give yourself 4 eyes in one, and like the one that really caught my eye was the ocean mist, I think you call it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
The
that's
kind of like
crazy.
half beauty look, but it looks like ocean waves.
Man, it looks like the space, like the sky. It looks crazy.
Thank you.
I don't even know where to start with my questions. So more recently, in the past couple of months, I've been getting put on to, not even put on to, my girl be watching the makeup influencers and all that, some YouTube stuff. So I kind of been
Paying
picking
attention?
up. Yeah, when she's doing her makeup, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, this is setting spray, or this is this, or that.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
So I don't even, yeah. I mean, I might as well, learn a little something.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what to ask. Like, okay, have you ever thought about getting into like being a makeup influencer or like putting out like makeup tutorials or this and that? I know you said it was harder to
The
work
video part.
iMovie and the video part of it, but have you ever thought about diving into that side of the makeup
I
world?
did, and that's what kind of like that year off was for. I wanted to see if I could do it.
Got you.
By the end of that year came up, that was really when like beauty influencers were like being put on a bunch of scandals. Like people were digging back in their Twitter accounts and finding like things that they said from like years and years back.
Yeah.
And all of these like news reporters would come out and be like, so and so's a racist, so and so is everything. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that really is shitty that they
They
said those
that.
things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's all opinion, but like that was also said like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
That's not like, that shouldn't be ignored. I mean, I guess they should have something about that, but I don't, not that I ever said anything like that.
But
But like, I don't want people
nervous.
digging.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't need you to be that far into my business.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me
I got you.
want that a little bit less.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I wanted to have my own life, my own privacy.
And not have people like so worried about what you're doing and that
Right.
kind of thing.
I'm like, I just want people to respect my art
Yeah.
and enjoy it and
Yeah.
come there for that.
And let
that's
me
about
be
it.
myself.
Yes.
Hey, it's
Leave me alone.
beautiful. I think you should keep doing what you're doing, and eventually you're just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Thank you.
And eventually he's gonna be a sci-fi movie makeup.
I can see it.
I gotta learn the
hands
prosthetics.
down. I know I called him for some music videos. I was like, I need to look really, really sick. Seth, can you make me look sick?
Oh, he did
yeah,
Ella?
the Ella video. Yeah, that was all Seth.
Yeah.
Seth came over and killed it, and he made me look deathly, and it was
He
awesome.
also, who else was doing makeup? Did you do makeup for everyone else too, or because I know a couple
I
people
don't-
had makeup on that day?
I didn't do those.
Yeah, I don't
Did
think
Haley
anyone
do
else did.
those?
I don't know if
They
anyone
just put a little something. It wasn't as extravagant as yours, but I do remember some of the girls having makeup.
I don't
Or am I
remember
tripping?
that. I think you're
I don't
tripping.
know. You might be.
Maybe that was supposed to be the plan, but it didn't all
Yeah.
happen. I don't know.
It's okay, but and that's like something to keep in mind though. Like we have a lot of artists that watch this, so understand Seth is here. He's in Winchester. If you have ideas and you want to collaborate, maybe you should like shoot him a message.
Yeah.
he might
Bring
be
it back.
down.
Well, the thing about that is now I am booked through Salon Collective, which is the salon that I work at. So
Yeah.
anything I do would have to be going through them.
I feel you.
But absolutely, I would love to work with anything you all.
Hit up Salon Collective to make a booking with Seth.
Yeah.
So I got well. Before I do this, is there any other questions you got, Brandon?
Go for it. I'll chime in at the end if need
If
be.
anything comes up. All right. So last thing I want to ask you is, and you could take a second to think about it, but
Sure.
right now, I know you said you have your job at the salon. You also have a second job. You're still doing your own makeup stuff at home when you have free time. If you could, if your life was exactly the way you wanted it, and you could do whatever you wanted, that being just makeup or makeup and this and that, what would that look like for you?
I would say I don't really know. See, my whole thing is I think I would like to have the life of Lipstick Nick, Jeffery Star's makeup artist.
Okay.
Like have one super famous person and a couple of others, because obviously one person cannot give you that full living.
Yeah.
But doing celebrities makeup and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the anxiety level to handle that? Absolutely not. I have way too much anxiety to deal with that, but it would be nice.
In a perfect world, that would be a great.
In a perfect world,
Yeah.
I would just have stuff on billboards and everything and just be like, that was me.
That's awesome.
I did that.
You never know.
That would be the most ideal,
You never know.
I feel like,
put
I feel
that
like
energy out there.
right?
But once you get to that point, then you're gonna start getting booked at being a judge on a makeup show and it's
Oh my gosh, and that would be so much fun because I actually had a dream, oh my God, that I was a guest judge on this show, Dragula,
Okay.
which is like RuPaul's Drag Race, but
For makeup stuff.
for horror
Oh.
drag queens. So that's what inspires a lot of my art too, is horror drag queens.
Yeah.
Not so much drag queens, but they really inspire me. So if I could be a guest judge on there, that would be really cool.
Ooh, you never
Oh my
know.
God.
We just put it out into the universe.
Right?
You
I'm
never
like,
know
oh
what could
God,
happen.
if the Boulay brothers are ever watching this, please book me.
Yes, hit him
We'll
up.
tag 'em.
Hit him up. All right, you guys have any other questions for Seth before we wrap this up?
I don't think so.
I just want to say, keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It looks great.
Well, thank you guys for creating a platform to share the art of Winchester and people in it.
Of course, man. Yeah, I definitely want to say, like, amazing artist. Obviously, one of my very best friends, so I love you to death.
I love you.
But, like, definitely, you know what I mean? Check Seth out. Tell people if they want to check out your stuff, where can they go? And if they do want to book you, where could they go?
Okay, so if you want to you can follow me on my Instagram. It'll be just at Zombie Mannequin, one word. I don't really have any other social media that I like share with the public, but you can email Salon Collective at info at Salon Collective, I think.
Yeah, we can look it up. And
Yeah,
put
we're
it
going to
down
figure
there.
all that out.
Yeah.
But you can also call the salon and everything like that. I can put my business card and send you a picture of it or something.
Yes.
But, yes.
So make sure you guys definitely check out his Instagram. I really appreciate you for sharing your story because I know like it wasn't an easy path, but I feel like hearing that someone else that's, you know, a kid in high school that's trying to do what you're doing right now might hear this and be like, wow, like Seth did that, so why couldn't I do that?
It would just be cool to inspire someone like that.
And I'm sure you're going to with your story.
Thank you.
Make sure you check out his Instagram. Hit up Salon Collective. We'll put everything in the description. So if you guys want to find him, we'll make it easy for you guys. This is another episode of the Iron Skillet Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.